It's pretty strange that there are now 34 million more men than women in China, yet men are becoming harder to find in the dating and marriage market. At a matchmaking event in Hangzhou, there were over 300 women but only about a dozen men. In Shanghai's famous matchmaking spot at People's Square, the male-to-female ratio was a staggering 1:9. Data reveals that major cities typically have more women than men in their matchmaking markets, with some cities seeing an unbelievable ratio of 1 man for every 4 women. In some places, 1 man for 11 women. These trends highlight a troubling issue. Even though there are more men, significantly fewer are actively seeking marriage, leading to a mismatch between supply and demand. The reasons are hard to digest. Women often have high expectations, while many men have adopted a more laid-back attitude. This creates a disconnect in the dating scene. Simply put, while there are indeed more men, most of them aren't even on women's radar. So, what do women want in a partner? They look for a house, a car, financial stability, a steady job, good looks, height, and emotional support. The men who meet these criteria often end up marrying someone else before they even graduate, effectively shutting them out of the dating market. For men, the barriers to entering the marriage market are pretty high. Those with modest backgrounds, average education, and salaries, or even those from rural areas, find it tough to compete. On the flip side, the barriers are much lower for women. Any young woman who isn't unattractive is seen as a viable option. This imbalance creates a weird dynamic where it's easy for one side to find a partner while the other struggles. Despite this obvious discrepancy, women are still strongly influenced by societal expectations and often cling to the idea that it's better to be single than to settle. Average men, on the other hand, may feel discouraged and take a more passive approach, focusing on their careers and building wealth before entering the dating scene. From a guy's perspective, if they can't find a partner or afford a wife, it can feel more appealing to work hard and treat themselves. Deep down, as the economy continues to evolve, attitudes toward marriage seem to be drifting back to outdated norms. Men are expected to marry down, women are encouraged to hold out for better options, and men feel pressure to buy houses, cars, and pay bride price. This mindset is at the heart of the mismatch in the marriage market. What do you think?
A wife-material woman and an average girl often get similar levels of attention on dating apps. Why is that? It's because many men swipe right on almost everyone they see. From a woman's perspective, this means women from all walks of life receive attention from men across the board. However, much of this attention lacks sincerity, which can lead some women to overestimate their value in the dating market, thinking they have endless options. If you're a woman, you'd likely aim for the guy with the best qualities, right? Well, so does everyone else. This creates a Matthew effect in the dating app world. The men women are most interested in are also the ones attracting the most attention. As a result, a small group of highly attractive men come out on top. These men are either good-looking and wealthy or possess exceptional social skills. They're the ones with real options. Yet, it's ironic that many of these guys remain single. No matter how they justify it, they inadvertently raise women's expectations and distort some people's self-perception, especially women who may have limited experience, average intelligence, but decent looks. For them, life before 30 can feel like an illusion. So, why do there seem to be fewer standout men in the real world? One reason is that women often struggle to differentiate between men interested in casual encounters and those seeking serious relationships. Many still cling to traditional beliefs that men should be the main providers and excel in every aspect, while women can simply relax. In reality, it's not that there are fewer quality men, they're just already with quality women. Dating apps have heightened women's expectations, creating a distorted market where only a select few men are willing to play the game.
Many people have asked me why there are so many women at these matchmaking events and where all the single men have gone. The answer is pretty straightforward. Men largely struggle to enter this matchmaking market. In terms of partner selection, women typically aim to find someone better than themselves, often seeking to marry up. They gravitate toward the top 10% of men, while men tend to be more flexible in their choices. This difference in expectations creates a significant gap in the conditions needed for both genders to participate in the matchmaking market. Especially nowadays, many young people choose to work in large cities with the intention of settling there in the future. However, not having a house or a car becomes a major concern for women. For them, lacking a home in a big city signifies instability. Shouldn't buying a house be a joint effort between two people? Instead, women often expect men to come to the matchmaking market already owning a house, rather than collaborating with their partner to purchase and pay off a mortgage together. Moreover, the high cost of living and housing in big cities makes it extremely challenging for a man earning over 10,000 renminbi a month to support a family on his own. These economic concerns should ideally affect everyone, regardless of gender, but during matchmaking, women often overlook their own financial situations and focus solely on the circumstances of men. Even if a woman is on the brink of unemployment, as long as she is young and reasonably attractive, she can confidently enter the matchmaking market. These factors contribute to the reality that filters out many average men from the matchmaking scene. There's also a significant difference in the costs associated with matchmaking for men and women. Traditionally, if two people are compatible, they will typically go out for meals together, with the man usually picking up the tab. The woman might only need to cover her transportation costs. While this arrangement might work for 1 or 2 dates, if the relationship doesn't progress, the man ends up shouldering more financial burden. Even after all these expenses, there's no guarantee of success. This try and try again mentality, where men continue to spend without a guaranteed outcome, is another reason many men are discouraged. Some men will carefully weigh these factors to see if they meet the standards to participate in the matchmaking market. If they don't feel they measure up, they may not even consider it. However, many more men gradually lose interest in matchmaking as they encounter the hidden expectations and high costs imposed by women. As a result, they eventually drift away from the matchmaking scene, contributing to the current situation where there are far more women than men.
In China, there are 34.9 million more men than women, yet the matchmaking market is dominated by women. Why is that? Take the typical matchmaking scenario, where a bride price can start at 388,000 renminbi, along with requirements like a monthly salary of 20,000 renminbi, a house in the local area, and a car bought outright. In 2023, the average disposable income is just 39,200 renminbi a year, which means you would need to save every cent for 10 years without spending a dime just to meet the bride price. How many young people can realistically achieve that? So why are these outrageous expectations so common today? It largely stems from the influence and brainwashing of certain feminist narratives on Chinese women. This phenomenon of praise-killing or ill-intended praise plays on the human tendency to dislike criticism while favoring compliments. It involves relentless praise that can inflate an individual's sense of self-worth beyond reality, leading them to act in ways that defy common sense. For example, a young man from an ordinary family with a stable job and a positive outlook might be labeled a loser, while a woman from a similar background, even if she is unemployed, is often praised as a fairy. This is what praise-killing looks like. The prevailing narrative suggests that men are responsible for financial support while women are expected to be beautiful and charming. Gifts like the first cup of milk tea in autumn and monthly cash transfers are also often anticipated. Under the influence of ill-intended praise on social media, many women come to believe that men should be wealthy, generous, and romantic. As a result, they start feeling dissatisfied with the men around them, thinking they don't earn enough or lack the romantic gestures they desire. This leads to a widening gap between reality and expectations. Why are only women subjected to this kind of brainwashing? Because regardless of how much praise is given to men, they tend to be less easily swayed or influenced. In terms of spending, men rank lowest after women, children, the elderly, and pets in the eyes of capitalists. Consequently, men are often viewed as rational and unyielding, making them less susceptible to influence. As for the victims of this praise-killing, many ordinary men are put off by such expectations from women and think, if that's the case, I'll delay getting married. Ultimately, both women and men become victims in this scenario. In the face of consumerism and brainwashing, women especially need to remain clear-headed and rational. If a man is willing to spend money on a woman and wants to marry her, it shouldn't simply be because she is female. Gender equality means that being a woman shouldn't confer any advantages. Instead, it should be based on qualities like kindness, filial piety, honesty, emotional intelligence, knowledge, hard work, or strong financial management skills, all of which are essential for a thriving family. Ultimately, it's about having the qualities that can help a future family flourish. Otherwise, if a man is spending money, it might just be for short-term enjoyment without any serious thoughts of marriage.